Hey, Mark Carney wins the Liberal leadership. Woohoo. Seriously, like if anybody didn't know he wasn't going to win, I mean, good Lord, you weren't paying attention if you didn't know Mark Carney was going to win the Liberal leadership. Like he's like, it's a coronation. It's not even a win. It's just a coronation. People decided, who decided? Okay, the people behind the Liberal government who are not necessarily the prime minister, not the ministers, the operatives, the people in the prime minister's office, the prince of darkness, Gerald Butts, the princess of darkness, Katie Telford. They decided he would be the candidate. And of course, when they just sort of threw candidates out till they got to a small field and Friedland is Friedland, she was never going to win. And nobody knew who the other people were. So it was a coronation for Mark Carney. So now, within a day or two, he will be the prime minister, because that's the way our somewhat odd system works. Like if you win the party leadership that's in power, that is in government, at the time, you get to go to the governor general's house and she says, yeah, you can do it for a while. You can lead the government. You can't sit in parliament, but I don't think they will sit in parliament. I think there'll be a snap election. I think that within, again, the next couple of days, there'll be an announcement of an election and we'll all go to the polls and decide what's going on. So it's true that Canada wants an election. I mean, not everybody, not every single person wants an election, but because, people think, election, pain in the ass, you get the same thing over and over again. All right. But the truth is that there's a lot of people in this country are interested in seeing a change. Some people are just happy that Trudeau's gone, and it looks like they think Mark Carney's a good choice. Some people you say that, because the polls show that he's up. Like nothing could get lower than Trudeau. Trudeau's polling was lower than a snake's belly. I mean, it was just like fading into nothingness. So it's given great encouragement to existing Liberal MPs. A great many of them aren't running, but some of them are. So, and it's surprising the kind of bounce that Carney, whose French is frankly not a hell of a lot different than mine, and mine's terrible, is got a bounce in Quebec. I mean, it looks like it's a classic case of, if it's not that terrible person, we'll consider this new person. If it's not Trudeau, we'll think about you. So, I mean, it's all pretty odd to understand. But here's what I want everyone to know. We do want an election. We want an election in Canada. Hell yes. There should not be a new government leader who's unelected. It's sort of a crazy part of our system. It's happened several times before in history, but we shouldn't. It's not right. It's just not right. As a leader of the government, there's got to be an election. That we never voted. He doesn't have a seat in Parliament. He can't even sit in Parliament. He can't even attend. So, will Carney beat Poilievre? Yeah, polls seem to favor, but I don't think so. I don't think so because, we've had other great examples of people who've taken over the Liberal Party. We've had a person who took over the Conservative Party. His name was Kim Campbell. She was the first woman to be a prime minister in Canada, and her polls showed huge bounce, and then she lost the biggest loss ever. We had somebody by the name of John Turner, who was a brilliant man, star athlete. Oh, God, what a man! But he stepped into leadership and got a huge bounce, and then lost. But who's Carney? Carney is. He's attractive to some people. He's grayer, sort of distinguished look. Even though I think he's a similar age to Trudeau. He has got a great resume: Bank of Canada, Bank of England, Goldman Sachs, which is just the den of evil, and then Brookfield, which is Canada's version of Goldman Sachs, den of evil. But he's had those jobs, but. So a great resume and a brilliant education. Harvard, Oxford, holy mackerel. I mean, what an education. Fantastic. So the most important thing to understand about him, though, he's just another version of what Trudeau was. Mark Carney has been fighting against carbon almost his entire career. Like he's so much about climate change. It informs all of his work. It informs every speech. He was the United Nations special climate ambassador to rich fuckers. Okay, I mean, like, to big corporate fuckers. I mean, he is carbon to his toes. Okay, that's who he is. And people think, oh no, but he's distinguished and he's been through so much and he looks like a prime minister, and Polyev looks a little like a weasel, and my wife thinks he's a weasel. But no, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. People think that Mark Carney can negotiate with Donald Trump. Nobody can fucking negotiate with Donald Trump. It's fucking crazy. It's a crazy idea. It makes no sense, okay? Like, Donald Trump's just going to do whatever the fuck Donald Trump wants. Wouldn't matter whether it's Carney. Wouldn't matter whether it's Polyev. Well, the idea of Jagmeet Singh is just ridiculous, but still, it doesn't matter. Those negotiations are going to be whatever they are. We need a leader who understands that foolishness, the foolishness we've been going through for 9-10 years, has to stop. The carbon climate foolishness, the incredible taxation, the vast growth in government, the incredible dependence on the money disintegrated on foolishness, absolute foolishness, a Rive scam, 60,000 people working at CRA, absolute insanity, okay? And there's only one person that I know of who said, no, I'm going to end it all. Mark Carney is just another liberal, and we need change.